Coming up on This Week in Procurement, digital modernization is colliding with infrastructure urgency, and agencies are moving extremely fast. Now, this episode is dedicated to the software firms. I have 5 opportunities that you can move on right now, plus a positioning play that separates the winners from the wishful thinkers. Welcome to This Week in Procurement, your weekly outlook on state, local, and education government contracting opportunities. I am your host, Abby Souffrant. Let's get into the top 5 opportunities that stood out this week. First up, out of the state of Wisconsin, we have a web-based paratransit management software contract. This is not a nice to have, it's an operational backbone for vulnerable populations relying on specialized transportation. We're talking driver applications, a client database with accessibility tracking, real-time dispatching with graphic displays, automated batch scheduling, and vehicle maintenance alerts, all in one platform. Best fit for paratransit and transit routing specialists who understand demand, response operations, and ADA requirements. This signals that public agency is ripping out legacy systems and standing up modern cloud-based operations, and the implementation timeline is really tight, which means they favor vendors with proven deployments, not pilot stage products. Next up, out of the state of Illinois, we have a customer relationship management database for workforce development. This includes a cloud-based CRM fully integrated with Microsoft 365, Outlook, Teams, and the whole entire ecosystem, so staff can live inside of a single workflow. Employer relationship management, workforce program tracking, grant administration, and real-time KPI reporting all rolled up into one system. Best fit for government CRM vendors who know the Microsoft stack inside and out and can speak both workforce board language and IT governance. This signals a data consolidation play with such urgencies. The questions for these opportunities are due on May 27th with your proposals that are due on June 8th. If you can show migration plans, clean data models, and a user adoption strategy, this is absolutely your lane. Our third contract is coming out of the state of Connecticut for Affordable Care Act compliance and consulting software. This is a 3-year sustained revenue opportunity, which tells you the agency is serious about long-term partnership, not a quick tool swap. The scope includes eligibility tracking, cost and risk modeling, real-time non-compliance detection, Form 1095-C delivery, PeopleSoft integration, COBRA and retiree data handling, plus full training and support. Best fit for healthcare compliance vendors and large-scale payroll integration specialists that are comfortable with living at the intersection of HR, finance, and regulatory reporting. This signals complex, high-stakes regulatory work that demands expertise and relationship depth. Agencies will gravitate towards vendors who can demonstrate both technical accuracy and ongoing advisory support. Our fourth contract is coming out of the state of Tennessee for venue and event management software. This opportunity consolidates scattered systems and spreadsheets into one operational platform that can run the full venue lifecycle. Sales and CRM booking, as well as scheduling, inventory and resource management, financial workflows, analytics, API integration, and mobile and remote access with full audit tracking are all on the table. Best fit for vendors with venue and event technology experience who can handle multi-site operations and complex calendars. This signals a push to modernize legacy operation and standardize how venues sell, schedule, and report across multiple locations, which means integration capabilities and change management will be just as important as its features. Our last contract is coming out of the state of Ohio for golf course management software. This is a full stack operation and revenue platform for public golf. Online tee time booking with real-time availability, point of sale with barcode scanning, gift card management, mass email marketing at scale with six-figure contact lists per course, multi-course remote access, and flexible transaction codes all come bundled into one operation. Best fit for golf and hospitality management software, vendors who can prove uptime, support, and marketing automation at scale. This signals a one-year contract focused on straightforward golf operations with unexpected marketing complexity, a full operational suite from booking through revenue generation that favors vendors who understand both recreation and customer engagement. For our tip of the week, if you're into digital, software, or systems integration, you cannot just sell features. You have to sell outcomes, proof, and reporting. These 5 opportunities we just went through are all share one DNA strand: their consolidation plays. Agencies are exhausted by scattered systems, legacy workflows, and manual processes held together by spreadsheets. They want vendors who can prove that a new platform will reduce operational friction, cut staff time spent on admin work, and deliver measurable outcomes they can show to their leadership. Your job is to show them before and after what their day looks like now, what it looks like post-implementation, how many hours they get back, and what revenue or compliance gains they will actually realize. When you lead with integration capability and measurable results, backed by case studies, of course, baselines, and dashboards, you move from another software option to the partner that makes our operations work. Nationwide, we've tracked over 30,000 new opportunities from May 15th through May 21st. That volume tells us that agencies are moving with urgency. They're not waiting to see what is going to happen next. General Services leads the pack with a surge in compliance, record management, and specialized admin work. Software and technology follows closely, which means digital modernization is not a future conversation. It's happening very aggressively right now inside of core operations. Construction and infrastructure is a steady reminder that physical resilience remains a standing priority. Now, 2 things to focus on this week. First, cloud-based systems are no longer a competitive advantage. They're table stakes. Second, agencies are consolidating vendor relationships. They're looking for platforms that close integration gaps and reduce the number of systems their teams manage. If you can solve for both integration and operational visibility, you're already ahead of the game. Heading over to the East Coast is building diverse operational capacity across multiple markets. This region is buying general services and compliance work, cloud-based software and technology solutions, and construction services that support both residential and civil engineering priorities, but demand spread strategically across jurisdictions rather than clustering into one place. DC is heavily weighted towards general services and professional consulting for federal and local government operations. a market driven by federal requirements and compliance heavy work. New Jersey has been concentrating as well in general services and security, as well as safety, including security camera installations and physical access control that modernize public facility infrastructure. This tells us as vendors, the East Coast is not a monolithic market. The signal for this area, regional vendors need to specialize by jurisdiction. Heading over to the South is balancing infrastructure growth with specialized federal markets. Federal is really big this week because a lot of programs are renewing. So even though we don't focus specifically on federal, a lot of our SLED dollars and a lot of the SLED programs are funded by federal dollars. So don't you forget that. This region is actively buying general services, software and technology, as well as construction services, but opportunity concentrates in specific states that market with different drivers. Virginia has been heavily focused on software and technology that is of course driven by federal funding, as well as the state agency hubs are demanding compliance for heavy IT solutions and digital modernization. Florida has been very rich this week in general services and maintenance, both supporting municipal operations and facility management across a broad level of government in their network. This shows agencies in the South are pursuing different strategies. Buyers are investing in specialized IT and federal compliant program solutions, while other agencies are doubling down on operational continuity and facility resilience. The signal that vendors must understand is that state-specific buyer behaviors are very prevalent here. So you're going to have to do some research in order to have some skin in the game. Heading over to the Midwest. The Midwest has been stabilizing through digital transformation and public safety investments. This region, just like the other two, are buying heavily in general service contracts, admin support, as well as software and technology solutions for operational visibility, marketing, and public relations services for public engagement. States like Ohio are heavily focused on IT and security camera installations that are upgrading their public safety infrastructures and monitoring, whereas states like Michigan, they're showing consistent demand as well as general services, but also in promotional supplies, both that are supporting admin operations and community-facing initiatives. This tells us that vendors in the Midwest are methodically building digital backbone while maintaining a focus on physical security and public communication. Now the signal here are that buyers are balancing operational efficiency with public safety priorities, creating a stable, consistent market for vendors who can deliver integrated solutions that handle both back office and frontline needs. Finally, heading over to the West Coast. The West Coast is fragmenting into specialized regional markets rather than acting as a single block. This region is buying everything: general services, construction, software, technology, but no, opportunity is distributed across multiple states with distinct priorities instead of clustering under one single theme. States like Colorado are very strong in their general services and cloud-based systems, which include parking management and operational software that modernize city services with a focus on mobility and environmental resilience. And also states like Washington, they are heavily concentrated in marketing and public relations, as well as electronic access control systems, which signals a strong emphasis on public communication and physical security modernization. Now, beyond these anchors, the region shows consistent demand for general services and construction, indicating that agencies are balancing multiple operational priorities all at one time. The vendors in this region need to not think monolithically. However, they need to think that these cities are upgrading into smart cities, and mobility solutions are a part of the new framework that they are trying to solve. Now let's head into our Dear Abby segment. Dear Abby, I've been bidding and not winning. Why is that? I have a couple of options that I can lean to without knowing any details. I can't give you a specific framework. However, I also want you to know and make sure that you are bidding on opportunities that you are jumping ahead of. So by the time you see the RFP in a system and in a portal, you are already a couple steps behind. Because before RFPs are formulated and the details are given, there are often RFIs, requests for information, or RFQs that are put out in the marketplace just to see what are the local vendors saying, what are their capabilities, what are their pricing, what options do we have. And so by obtaining what I like to call their surveys being completed in the marketplace, they use that information to formulate what is important and what is necessary for a compliant or a reliable vendor for this type of work. So you may be a little bit behind. And so what I would encourage you to do is to get ahead of the next opportunities. What do you do and how do you do that? Well, you go down and figure out where are the areas or departments that are talking about the next steps that are happening in your area. You might want to start attending some of these meetings, your council meetings, your city meetings, your planning meetings, right? They sound boring, but that's where the money is. Sometimes the best rooms we need to be in, they don't have the best opportunities that we see initially. However, the relationships that you build in those rooms, the feedback that you provide in those rooms are truly invaluable. And that's where you want to be. You want to be on the front lines and not on the back lines whenever the agency decides, now is the time we want to put out the RFP. So I want you to make sure that you are putting in time for research and networking with your local procurement agency or those that you want to work with, and make sure they know, like, and trust you, and give yourself some time to give them feedback on future projects that they're working on so that you can get ahead of future programs that they will be putting out through an RFP, and that you can respond appropriately. And the winning odds is higher because you already know what to expect. And if you've done your due diligence, they'll be expecting your response. If you want clarity on your next best step, take our government contracting readiness assessment. And if you want access to live training and hand-picked contract opportunities, join us inside our Under Contract Academy. That's it for this week on This Week in Procurement. Remember, opportunities are everywhere. You just need to know how to move on them. I'm Abby Souffrant, and I'll see you next week.